roof. I thought it was like, you think that's gonna be pretty good?
Oh my god! What's up, YouTube? Shawn DaGamer here with my cousin Thomas.
Good old Thomas.
So we're here to discuss, as the title suggests, the rise and fall of TNA. I want to first preference this by saying I'm not talking about the wrestlers in TNA. I'm talking about TNA, the business. TNA, the product. Because as of this moment, TNA still has talent that I like. TNA, who they got Gail Kim, who is literally one of my top 5 favorite female wrestlers of all time.
They have Gail Kim. They may still have Taryn
Terrell. I think so.
And she's hot.
They lost Brooke.
Oh, Brooke is gone.
You just got Maria Kanellis and Mac Bennett. So, and okay, let's not talk about. Okay, they have a lot of talent that we like. James Storms went back. I feel so sorry for James Storms. If you watch anybody talk about wrestling and the whole situation with like Bobby Roode and Eric Young, the first thing they always say is, "I feel sorry for James Storm," because one of the main reasons he came back because Eric Young and Bobby Roode were still there.
Yep.
So, and it was easier for him, work. He's been there forever. It was lighter on his schedule. So I still would have stayed with NXT. But anyways, we're not talking about that right now. TNA, founded by Jeff Jarrett, 2001, right after the fall of WCW, for the most part. And they were good at first.
They were.
They were on, they were on like the TV Guide channel or something like that. Or one of them like ESPNs. It started off like that. I remember because the first time I saw them is when AJ Styles won the title. I don't know if it was like a clip show or something like that when he first won the X Division title. And I was like, this is some good stuff. And I was late to the game. I didn't start watching them in 2001, but I went and did my history, started buying the DVDs back when FYE was still at Stonecrest. If you live in Georgia, they had all the DVDs on sale for like $5 a piece. I still got those DVDs. What about some old TNA?
Yes, please.
Alright. But TNA was so good at first. And then they introduced the 6-sided ring, which I thought was amazing. And then they had such innovative matches like Ultimate X, which is still one of the best match concepts I've ever seen with the right people in it. A la the Triple Threat X Division Championship match. AJ Styles, was it Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels?
Yeah.
If that's the match I'm thinking. But they had so many good Ultimate X matches before they changed the scaffolding to like whatever and all this stuff. The original Ultimate X match with the wires, and they did all the shit. Oh my god, TNA used to be so good.
Look, TNA. What I loved about TNA when I came in late. I came in when Joe first popped up. So that was like
2005, 2006.
Yes. So, and it was an accident too. I was like, oh, wrestling's on Spike TV again? And I was like, wait a minute. This ain't WWE. But then I actually sat there and watched it because I'm a wrestling fan. Mm-hmm. And then got hooked because like it was...
First of all, it was an hour.
It did what WWE didn't. At the time, yes. WWE was all about like gimmicks and like trying to make people laugh, and it was a family show.
Yeah, we're talking about this is the beginning of the Cena era. So you had people like Cena dominating. Edge was slowly becoming world heavyweight champion for like the 5th time. What else was going on? Was Kane still behind the mask? Or?
Yeah, Kane was behind the mask going into his unmasked phase.
This was when TNA was good, WWE was going downhill. Here's my example, Hornswoggle.
There you go.
So it was like a breath of fresh air because Ring of Honor wasn't on TV.
Right.
It was hard to watch New Japan. People didn't really know about AAA. There was no Lucha Underground at the time.
Nope.
So it was like the only 2 things on TV was WWE programming and TNA.
Hey, you forgot something that also was a part of that going downhill stages. You said Hornswoggle, and there was a Eugene.
I liked the Eugene character. For as stupid as it was, the Eugene character was at least fun because he knew how to wrestle.
He did.
He knew how to wrestle. So the character was done wrong, but it was a fun character. So I'll say that.
Uncle Eric.
Shut up. But TNA had so much good going on. You had tag team wise, you had the Machine Guns. Who else did you have at that time? You had the Young Bucks were still there.
Yeah,
the Young Bucks were still there. I don't think it was the Young Bucks though. It was a tag team like the Young Bucks.
Generation Me.
Yes. Where are they now?
I don't know. It was a whole bunch of tag teams.
Yes, they had Generation Me.
Then they had the different factions that was in the British Invasion and Team Canada. Fucking Pt.1 motherfucking
They had Pt. fucking Williams.
Yeah.
Canadian Destroyer!
That shit, my first time seeing a Canadian Destroyer, I yelled to the top of my lungs.
I think everybody did when you first see a Canadian Destroyer. Oh my god.
And
especially done by Pt. Williams with the hair. He did the whole little tumbling thing with his arms. Oh my god, the Canadian Destroyer was so good.
I was like, what is he about to do? Oh!
It was just so much good. And then TNA did another smart move and they introduced the knockouts.
Yes.
Especially, and then the knockouts at the time.
Man, the knockouts were hot. That freaking Victoria fresh off of WWE.
They had a fresh Mickey. They had Gail Kim, Angelina Love, Velvet Sky, Madison Rain.
Yeah.
Then the list is Awesome Kong. So they had everything right with the knockouts. And the championship looked nice too.
Yep.
And then they decided to go head to head on Monday Night Raw.
They changed the whole thing. They went first off.
First of all, they got rid of the freaking 6 sides of steel.
Yeah.
I mean 6 sides of steel. The 6-sided ring, which I thought was the stupidest thing you could ever do, especially when you're trying to compete with WWE. Then they bumped the programming time to 2 hours, which was okay, but they didn't know how to fill their time. So that's when they started going downhill. And then their storylines just started becoming blatant ripoffs of either old or current WWE storylines.
Yep.
Let
me see. One of my most memorable ones was good old Kurt Angle and Jeff Jarrett, but that was real.
That was, oh my god. Why not just fire Kurt? Why not fire Kurt? If he's that big of a problem, fire Kurt. Not fire. Oh, you know what? Maybe there's other things going on, like politically and, personally backstage shit going on with that. But why fire the man who gave you the company? And another, I don't really want to say this because I don't know the woman personally, but Dixie Carter. I understand she was like the money of the company, but if she's not really, I know she's a wrestling fan, but if she doesn't know the business, why let her run stuff? You can have her be the face. She can be your Stephanie McMahon or your Linda, whatever. I get it, but making decisions, no,
because so far she's shown that she's messy as hell.
Oh wait, we forgot a major one. What really started to kill TNA? The signing of Sting. Not Sting, Hogan and Bischoff.
There you go.
Hogan and Bischoff. Because they were eating away at the financials. If you go look it up, they were eating away at the financials. People aren't getting paid on time down in TNA. That's just bad business. You can't give nobody who's working their ass off for your company day after day. You can't pay them on Friday with an IOU. Somebody would have got shot fucking with me. Somebody would have got robbed. Something.
Hogan, I didn't understand when he came. I didn't understand.
I didn't understand it either. Why?
And then some of those storylines he was in was just weird.
It was crazy. And then another thing was they did it wrong, and they just started signing everybody who left a different organization. They signed Christian, Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Rhino, Tommy Dreamer, Sting, Flair. Woo! But okay, side note, Sting. I mean, God, why do you want to say Sting? Flair, Lethal, best thing ever. Best thing TNA has ever done. Black Machismo, best thing TNA has ever done. That's my lie.
That's my lie.
That's my lie.
My lie.
Woo! 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 Best thing.
Yes, the greatest thing TNA has ever done was create the Black Machismo and let this man start impersonating people.
But I love the payoff after that when Jay Lethal went to Ring of Honor. When goddamn he started fighting Jay Briscoe.
I'm gonna beat you. He said, I'm gonna beat you so bad, boy. You gonna go back to being Black Machismo.
Don't you talk about that. You don't bring that up. I'll beat your ass.
Like, I've never seen Jay Lethal so serious, but I love, thanks to Black Machismo, like, we got a serious Jay Lethal.
Jay Lethal for NXT.
By the way. You know, next.
What else happened in TNA? The whole Samoa Joe Kurt Angle feud for all the belts. I still don't, to this day, I don't understand what TNA was thinking with that storyline. Was that, because I know at that time Kurt Angle had creative leeway. Like, literally all creative. So, was that a Kurt Angle idea? Y'all just let him do it? Why didn't nobody say, no, that's stupid? I mean, why? What was the purpose of that? What else did they do stupid?
I'm sorry. I respect both of these two. I respect these two guys.
I respect everybody we're talking about. Yes. This is no disrespect.
But I really freaking hated the feud between AJ Styles, Kazarian, and Christopher Daniels. That whole little thing with the pregnant lady and cheating.
Yeah. I didn't
get that annoyed me so much. Oh my God. And the whole Dixie Carter and AJ messing around with each other thing. And then having Dixie's husband come up there swinging on AJ. First of all,
you don't swing on AJ.
You don't swing on AJ. Because first of all, you will get a Pele quick.
Fuck. Shit. I found my black lighter. Anyways, what else? They did so much. I'm glad. Even AJ said as soon as he left, he has no remorse for leaving TNA. And that's evident on Agent Christian show.
I don't want to talk about him.
They shouldn't talk about him. Nobody caught that line. Nobody caught that part. Would they ever talk about TNA? No. Why would they? And they shouldn't. What else? Oh my things. TNA did some things right by having the talent exchange with New Japan and AAA at one point. Yes. And they had the whole international tournament. That was good. Yes. See? TNA did some good things.
Yes.
Aces and Eights.
Aces and Eights, because without Aces and Eights, we wouldn't have the AJ that we have right now.
Right. And Bully Ray. They gave us Bully Ray. They gave us Bully Ray.
And actually, TNA, because all of the talent in TNA was working so hard, it pushed both Bully Ray and Devon to get back in shape.
Yes. Oh, yes.
And so, like, when they got back together, all of those matches they had with the Wolves.
Oh, yeah.
And the Hardys.
Yes.
Because they were in shape, it was great. Mm-hmm. So, like, they did some stuff right.
Like, TNA... when did they try to go head to head with WWE? Like 2011, 2012? Like, everything before that, other than like the Hogan stuff and the Kurt Angle win all the title stuff, was so good. So good. You can sit down and watch TNA every week with no problems. Because it was an hour. It wasn't that long. Mm-hmm. All the rest, you had like 3 or 4 great matches. They didn't really do all the... When TNA tried to do like legit like backstage angles and segments and things like that, like try to actually have actual storyline, that's when they started going downhill. Because they didn't have good writers.
Nope.
It's like they literally, I don't want to say anything bad about the talent. It's like, hey, write this up. Write up your storyline. And they didn't have any influence or nobody telling them, no, that's not a good idea. And you had people like Dutch Mantel back there. You had people like Al Snow. You had people back there that knew the business. Even Bully Ray, Bubba, Devon, the other ones. If you didn't know,
Oh yeah,
the New Age Outlaws,
James Gang.
Yeah, you had them back there. People who've been around the business and know this stuff. You had people like that. Why weren't they like being head of creative? Yeah. Like, I don't. Oh my god.
I blame Dixie.
What else? Because Dixie let so much stuff happen under her watch. I don't want to say it like that, but you can ask anybody. If you go look at any of the reports, any of the dirt sheets, any YouTuber, anything like that, everybody says the same thing. Even the wrestlers that have worked in her company have said Dixie Carter should not be in charge of the company, but she is. And then the whole scandal with Vince Russo.
Yep.
That got them kicked off Spike. How do you get kicked off? No. They got them kicked off Destination America. How do you get kicked off a network you was only on for a year?
Yeah, they was gonna get booted off anyways because ROH was on TV.
Yes,
it just got on TV and that was fresh. They were competing with the person that they helped create.
Yes,
AJ and freaking Bullet Club, and I was like, oh, there it is. They was doing that on purpose. It was like for a good minute. On Destination America, Bullet Club was popping up like 3 weeks in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Embarrassing TNA.
There is no saving grace for TNA right now. TNA is dead in the water. If you haven't heard, for whatever reason, TNA has moved their head offices in Nashville to their merchandise warehouse. So they're clearing space to put desks in there so that can be their main office as well as their warehouse. That should let you know. TNA, we sat here and named some of the stuff TNA has done so right, but yet still failed. Hashtag Batman vs Superman. And it baffles me that it all started because they wanted to go head to head with WWE Raw. I can understand that. Like, let's see. And at first they were pulling decent ratings. They were pulling decent numbers.
They were.
And then they had to rebrand themselves. TNA has had at least 15 rebrands over their 16-year. Looks like every year they try to rebrand themselves.
They went from. It started off TNA. It was like regular TNA. Mm-hmm. The next thing you know, they was like, okay, we want to drop the whole TNA thing. Now we're just gonna go with this whole Impact Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Then
they went back to TNA. They're like, TNA, we are wrestling. It's just too many rebrands. Just stick with one thing and go with it. The only thing that can really save TNA right now is cut the shenanigans and just go back to being a wrestling program. TNA right now needs to be not its own company. Like, you can still have like maybe a TNA championship and the X Division championship and the women's championship or something, but they need to be a destination spot for like an outlet for other companies like New Japan, AAA, Ring of Honor. Be like a showcase show. Like, hey, this week we're gonna have Ring of Honor champion Jay Lethal on. He used to be in TNA. This week we're gonna have name random Japan guy.
Oh, shit. Hold on. I got it. It's in my head. That's somebody amazing. Okay. Seidel. They can say we're going to have Matt Seidel on there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we're going to have PJ Black from Lucha Underground. We're going to have such and such from here. Such and such. They need to be a outlet for other organizations to come in and help showcase other talent. And that will really like help. Just drop the whole TNA thing. Call it Impact. Impact World Wrestling. Or Impact Showcase or something like this. Just drop the whole TNA thing at this point because it's not working anymore.
Well, and what the funny part is if they really wanted to do like this whole, if they wanted to be like a wrestling company, wrestling company that incorporates all of the brands. Mm-hmm. Besides WWE,
right?
They don't fuck with folks like that.
Oh, because TNA burnt that bridge. TNA burnt that own bridge to TNA. I mean, Dixie burnt that bridge to goddamn Triple H. Because it's not Vince no more. Oh, Vince will fire your ass, but he's letting Triple H and Stephanie handle everything, and Shane probably now. But go ahead.
In order for them that whole plan to work out, they have to get rid of Dixie, because like Dixie, the reason why don't nobody want to work with TNA is because of Dixie. It's like they feel, honestly, this is gonna sound as black as it's gonna sound. Dixie is the Carly Red of wrestling. She's very messy. She is very messy. She's shown that she's very messy.
Follow her on Twitter. She's messy.
She's very messy.
Like when the whole AJ thing, this really still pisses me off.
Uh-oh.
Earlier this week, when AJ became #1 contender to Roman Reigns, the next Impact, they started running commercials for AJ Styles' best of DVDs. Yes. He's giving me the fuck face? Yes. They are. If you go on TNA shop right now, there's a best of AJ Styles DVD. New.
Oh, if I was AJ.
And that just shows how bitter they are, because they do this with everybody that leaves TNA. Another big thing we didn't even touch on that shows how bad a company TNA was the 2009 debacle with Jeff Hardy versus Sting for the World Heavyweight title. When that nigga showed up, fucked up off his ass, and Sting literally had to knock his ass out, get the 3 counts, and steal the belt. Because that's how bad Jeff Hardy was that night. They don't have any kind of wellness policy program. I think they're starting one now, or they got one over the last year. But for your champion to walk in to your pay-per-view, what was it, Victory Road or something like that? One of them pay-per-views, it was an early year pay-per-view. Sting versus Jeff Hardy. When you have a casual wrestling fan who doesn't really know about TNA Impact, and you hear in a different organization, Jeff Hardy versus Sting for a championship, that's going to bring you buy ratings. But then when the whole pay-per-view was a decent pay-per-view, I can't remember everything that was on the card because it got overshadowed by that incident. But when your champion is literally stumbling and out to a match, and you have the ref, who's probably Earl Hebner, and you have Sting.
You was right, that's Victory Road.
See? That lets you know I watched their product. What was it, 2011?
Yes, it was.
Like, what in the hell are you thinking? Somebody should have seen this man before. Somebody should have seen, where's Jeff? Where's the champion? Seen him in his locker room. Bruh, you want to hit this, bruh? Like, all respect to Jeff Hardy. He's cleaned his act. I want him back in TNA. I think he'll do great in NXT. You know, to help put younger talents over. Can you see? Oh my God. Just think about the possibilities. Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke. Jeff Hardy versus Balor. Jeff Hardy versus who else is down there? Joe. We get some more Jeff Hardy Joe matches. The possibilities are endless. But Jeff Hardy, Aries. It's so many possibilities. But then you have him. I know I'm still on this, but that just lets you know, why wasn't somebody checking? I bet you that shit will never happen in WWE. Come on now. You will never see, one of their champions in the back drunk. You bet you believe they'll be fired or get a goddamn strike. Hashtag Randy Orton.
Or you end up being the next. You keep fucking around. End up the next R-Truth. That's exactly why R-Truth has not won a major title, because of his past history.
Yep. And then it's R-Truth.
The truth.
It's Ron. But even then, there are certain people that are real redemption stories that have came out of TNA. If you want to start off where they got their break on TV. AJ Styles, Ron Killings. Who else was down there first? CM Punk was down there for a while.
Yep.
It's just Austin Aries is there now, and of course, some of these people have to go to. They haven't been in TNA for a while, but they still have to wash the the indie off of them, if you want to say it like that. But it's just a perfect example of there are good things in TNA. TNA is just a bad place. It's like. What's the philosophy at work? You can have good employees but a bad manager, and it just in turns ruin everything else. And that's what I feel like TNA is. TNA is like my old Best Buy store. Good workers, bad management. Yeah, I'm putting it out there. Fuckers. And I just think, I'm just talking about the store I worked at, not Best Buy as a company. Just putting it out there. But at this point, there is no saving grace for TNA, in my opinion. There is no saving grace for TNA, in my opinion.
This is why I agree. I agree. There is no saving grace for TNA because the bridge has been broken. Nope. My phrase. The ice has been broken. Mm-hmm. They have alums such as Samoa Joe,
yep.
Austin Aries,
yep. Bobby. No, they got
Bobby Roode,
Bobby Mitch. I'm sorry, but
in TNA, and even Sorensen,
Jesse Sorensen. Yeah, I was so surprised when he popped up on goddamn NXT. I was like, he looks Jesse. I'm like, he looks very familiar. Jesse Sorensen. Jesse Sorensen. And there are so many talents. I'm sorry, I don't want to say it like this, but there's so many talents I want NXT to poach. I want DJZ in NXT. I want the Wolves in NXT. I want Gail Kim. I want the entire Divas roster in WWE.
Like that whole knockouts, all of them.
Even today, the knockouts division is amazing.
Yes.
Even Vince Russo recently did an interview with it was either another wrestling podcast or somebody else, or he said the knockouts were the biggest draw in TNA. That's why he always had them on twice a week, because they were the biggest rating spike. Come on now. That should let you know something. When Vince Russo says the women are your best thing because they have to prove themselves and they're really drawing the highest rating, it'd be one thing if they were working their ass off and they were like the third highest thing on the ratings card for your show. But when they're the first, come on now. When you have great talent down there, like you got Matt Bennett down there now. You have Shane Helms for whatever hurricane gimmick he has as a wrestler, he is good. You still have Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, EC3.
EC3 is amazing. And then he is a freaking NXT snub.
Yes. And he went down there, proved himself. EC3 is like one of the only things he did right. Because I love the EC3 gimmick. Is he still undefeated? Technically? Because I know he's not champion anymore. But did he like lose it like 1, 2, 3 or tap out?
I don't know. They've been disappointing me. Like when I seen everybody coming over, I was like, well.
And another thing they did right, they're doing Tyrus right. You know, the Funkasaurus. They're doing him right. You know, making him this big badass. That's what he should have been. Not somebody call my mama.
They did it right when he first came, and then they just jacked it up.
Come on. But WWE has learned. They're doing so much better now. That's why everybody is going there. Their system. Literally, you keep hearing them referred to as the machine. They are the machine because they know what they're doing now. Even back then when they didn't know what they were doing, they were still turning great ratings. They were still selling product. They were still selling merchandise. Something TNA can't do. And that's only because okay, we didn't even touch on this, so this probably going to be a little longer than I thought it was. We're going to have to break this up in 2 parts. TNA doesn't market themselves right.